Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and in today's video we are bringing back a series that we have not ran on the channel in quite some time. That is comparing NHL players from one NHL game to another. Today's video featuring NHL 21 and NHL 25. So the concept of this video is pretty self-explanatory. We take 4 different players and we take a look at overalls, potentials, everything between the 2 different games, compare and contrast. And then on the earlier game, we sim to the start of the 2025-26 NHL season to see where that player's progression takes them, and we'll see if it is somewhat comparable to current day. I should say this is strictly using the EA rosters from both of these games. So with all that being said, let's go jump into NHL 21 and take a look at our first player of the day. So the first player of the video, Wyatt Johnson, young star of the Dallas Stars. In NHL 21 was still on Windsor. This was a year before he was drafted to Dallas. In game, he is 52 overall with medium top 9 potential. Quite a drastic turn from where we see him in current days. Obviously, I think we all know over the past few years, Wyatt Johnson has broken out onto the scene and become a star of the Dallas Stars. 86 overall in-game, high top 6 potential, was the 23rd overall pick in 2021 by the Stars. So let me go simulate a few years to the start of the 25-26 NHL season back in NHL 21, and we'll see where Wyatt Johnson ends up, and we'll see how far off EA was from reality. Alright, so we're at the start of the 2025-26 NHL season. Wyatt Johnson, you'll see, actually got drafted by the Edmonton Oilers, so did not continue his career with the Dallas Stars. In-game still has his medium top 9 potential. He is now 69 overall at 22 years of age. Quite far off from his 86 that he currently has in NHL 25. If we go and take a look at his stats here again, it is very middling. He was a 6th round pick instead of a 1st round pick. 23rd overall to 180th overall. That is quite a drop off in all categories. Let's go take a look at Wyatt Johnson's stats. Let's go see what he did over the course of the simulation. So it looks like most of his time was spent in junior. His first year with the Windsor Spitfires was a very challenging one. 38 games, only getting 5 points. That's some tough numbers, especially for juniors. His second year was a very good improvement. He ended up playing in 62 games, 21 goals, 50 points, looked great. His next year and last year in junior, another improvement, 68 points in 62 games. Unfortunately, he could not keep up that success as he heads to the AHL, playing in 46 games, only getting 1 goal and 5 points. So I think it's pretty safe to say EA was totally off on where they had Wyatt Johnson in NHL 21. His career panned out way better in reality. The next player we will be looking at here today is the Toronto Maple Leafs' own Timothy Liljegren. In-game in NHL 21 was rated 77 overall with medium elite potential. At this point, he was 21 years old, just drafted 3 years before, and was still looked at as a blue chip prospect. In NHL 25, I think it's pretty safe to say that Liljegren has been a solid NHLer, but never really became the star that he was supposed to be with that medium elite potential. In-game here, he has 82 overall with low top 4 potential, and it's been a solid body. Obviously went from the Maple Leafs to the San Jose Sharks recently, and has been alright on their blue line. So let's go sim ahead to the start of the 25-26 season to see how Liljegren's career will pan out. Okay, so we are 4 seasons in the franchise mode. Let's go check in on Timothy Liljegren. You'll see that he actually did drop potential, going from medium elite to medium top 4. His rating is up quite a bit, going from 77 to 86. He is still 26 years old. He still does have 1 more year left of growth in game. So overall, pretty solid numbers there from Timothy Liljegren, much higher than what he would see in NHL 25. Looking at all his individual stats, looks like he kind of became a physical beast, and 94 shot blocking, 94 stick tracking. Very solid defensively apparently here. I don't know, Leafs fans, you'll have to let me know if you do agree. Let's go take a look at some of these stats here in game. So his first season split between the Marlies and the Maple Leafs, played in 11 NHL games, was a -5. Bit of a tough start to his career. In the 2020-21 season, spent it all with the Marlies, putting up pretty good numbers. 42 points in 76 games is respectable. 20 points in his first real full season of NHL action, with a +17 is pretty good. In 22-23, played in 80 games, putting up 6 goals, 19 points. Again, not too bad. And then in 23-24, putting up his career highs so far. 22 points in 79 games was a +28, which is pretty impressive. And then the last year of the season, played in only 62 games, put up 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points, was on pace for career highs before getting injured. So I think it's safe to say with Liljegren, although his numbers aren't amazing here, obviously overall potential did get quite a bit higher than where you would see it in NHL 25, but I think this is the defenseman that the Maple Leafs wish they would have ended up getting back in the 2017 entry draft. The next player we'll be looking at here today is the thumbnail boy, that being Moritz Seider. In NHL 21, had a very respectable rating of 80 overall, only had a medium top 4 potential though, just coming off being the 6th overall pick in the 2019 NHL draft. Although a lot of people thought it was a reach, it was still a very promising prospect at this point. And I think we all know how his career has gone down. He has looked very good since joining the Red Wings just back a few years ago. In NHL 25, rated 88 overall with medium elite potential. He is a physical beast, he blocks lots of shots, good defensively, and just a all-around anchor on the blue line for the Red Wings. Jumping ahead a few years here in NHL 21, you'll see that Seider unfortunately really didn't pan out in this universe. Still does have his medium top 4 potential, still is pretty young at 24 years of age, but only reached 82 overall. That is -6 from where he currently is at in NHL 25. Let's go and look at all of his individual stats here. So defensively, looks about average. Physical, again, very similar. He looks alright, but nothing super special. And yeah, it just looks like he really didn't pan out, obviously, anywhere close to where he did in real life. Looking at his stats in the game here, his rookie season in 2021, only putting up 14 points in 62 games. Definitely no Calder Trophy here. Second year, only playing 12 games, must have had a big injury, putting up 4 points. Looked alright, but yeah, just didn't really play at all, unfortunately. 22-23, played in 78 games, was more or less fully healthy, 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points, looked alright. In 23-24, put up 13 points, was a -47 though. That Wings team must have been brutal. And then in this most recent season, playing all 82 games, 3 goals, 8 assists for 11 points. And yeah, looks like he was just more or less almost like a bottom pairing defenseman in this reality, which unfortunately is pretty far off from the heights that he has already got to in his early career. And the last player we'll be looking at in today's video is former Islanders top prospect, that being Oliver Wahlstrom. Rated 78 overall with high top 6 potential. This guy was supposed to be the future of the Islanders. He looked like he had all the skills to carry this team. Unfortunately, it did not turn out. Going over to NHL 25, you'll see Wahlstrom on the Providence Bruins has moved on from the Islanders, has medium top 9 potential, and is 76 overall. That is a -2 from where we had see him in his early career with the Islanders. Still looks like to have alright stats, just nothing special. Obviously leading the way in the shooting as a sniper, that does make sense, but everything else is a little bit lackluster. Let me go sim a few seasons, and let's see what happens with Wahlstrom's career. Alright, so the final simulation of the video is now complete. We're at the start of the 25-26 NHL regular season, and we see Oliver Wahlstrom here. Looks like he ended up carving out a pretty solid middle 6 winger role for the Isles. Still has his high top 6 potential, 84 overall at 25 years of age. Let's go take a look at some of his numbers, some of his individual stats. So overall, the shooting category looks like it is way up at 4.5 stars. Very powerful shot and pretty accurate as well. Outside of that, physical defense obviously isn't great, but the offensive stats are there. Looking at his individual numbers, so in the 1920 season, did make his NHL debut playing 9 games. Unfortunately, no points in that little stretch. In the 2020-21 season, his first full NHL action, put up 11 goals, 6 assists for 17 points in his introduction to the NHL. 21-22, his first full 82 games, 11 goals, 15 assists for 26 points. His improvement slowly. His next season did see his career highs to this point, getting 20 goals, 20 assists for 40 points. Next year, unfortunately, took a step back, but that is mainly due to injury. 57 games, 10 goals, 18 assists for 28 points. I think he would have had a career high there if he was healthy. And then in the most recent season, another full 82 game season, putting up 19 goals, 19 assists for 38 points. Again, nothing wrong with this number at all. Looks like he had a pretty solid career as a middle six winger for the Islanders. Definitely not a superstar for the Islanders, but pretty respectable career here in the simulation. But overall, I think that is going to do it for today's video, comparing players from NHL 21 and seeing where they ended up in NHL 25. This is a series I think, want to bring back a little bit more often than what we have done in the past year. Maybe have an episode out for you guys once a month or something like that. It is fun looking at these older games, seeing overalls, player type, potentials, and seeing where EA might have messed up and maybe gave someone too high of an overall or too low of an overall in a certain game. But that will do it for today's video. I'll see you all in the next one.